Hi, this is Ajit here. In this video, we will discuss class Hirudinea of phylum Annelida. Class Hirudinea comprises of leeches, which are relatively homogeneous group of highly specialized annelids. Leeches are unlike other annelids in many ways and they possess some unique features. The characteristics of Hirudinea are: Hirudinea or leeches are common in freshwater but also occur in marine and moist terrestrial habitat. They are mostly ectoparasitic and blood-sucking forms. The body of leeches are dorsoventrally flattened or even cylindrical in shape. The body consists of a definite number of segments. Precisely 33 segments are found in leeches. Each segment consists of 2 to 4 superficial annellations. Parapody and chaetae are absent in leeches, and segments at anterior and posterior extremities are modified into specialized structures called suckers. The anterior sucker is usually smaller than the posterior sucker and it surrounds the mouth. The posterior sucker is disc-shaped. The suckers helps in attachment of this ectoparasite into a host, and it also helps in locomotion. The head consists of 5 segments and the head bears the anterior sucker on the ventral side and 5 pairs of ocelli on the dorsal side. The trunk consists of 21 segments, that is from the 6th segment to the 26th segment. It is divisible into preclitellar region, clitellum and postclitellar region. The posterior sucker is derived from the 7 segments at the posterior end of the body. The anus is situated dorsal to the posterior sucker. Hirudinea consists of hermaphroditic organisms and fertilization is internal. The leeches develop a clitellum during the breeding season, and the fertilized egg during the breeding seasons are deposited in cocoons. The development in leeches occurs directly without the involvement of any larval stages. About 500 species of Hirudinea are identified so far. The common examples are Hirudinea, Hirudo and Hema. Now we will move on to the details of Hirudinea. Hirudinea is a common Indian cattle leech and it is found in freshwater, ponds, lakes, tanks, swamps and streams. It is ectoparasitic and sanguivorous, that is, its blood feeding. Leeches shows important adaptations for this blood-sucking life. The body of leeches are elongated and cylindrical in shape, and it is usually in a constricted state, and the body is dorsoventrally flattened in an extended condition. A fully grown leech measures about 40 cm in length. The dorsal surface of the body is usually olive green in color and the ventral surface is orange yellow in color. The body has a fixed number of segments, that is 33 segments. These true segments are further demarcated into 4 or 5 superficial annuli. The body of leeches are divisible into 3 regions: the head, the trunk and posterior sucker region. The head consists of anterior 5 segments. The head bears the anterior sucker on the ventral side and 5 pairs of ocelli on the dorsal side. The mouth is located at the center of the anterior sucker. The trunk consists of exactly 21 segments following the head, and the trunk is divisible into preclitellar, clitellar and postclitellar regions. Paired nephridiophores and the median unpaired gonopores are present in the ventral side. The posterior sucker region consists of 7 segments. These segments are indicated by concentric circles in the posterior sucker. The anus is located on the dorsal side of the posterior sucker. The body wall of leeches is highly muscular with circular, longitudinal and oblique muscles. The epidermis of Hirudinea is covered by a thin cuticle and a well-developed connective tissue. Dermis is present between the epidermis and the body wall musculature. The coelom is unusual and it is highly reduced by the development of a connective tissue between the alimentary canal and the body wall. The coelomic cavity is restricted to 4 longitudinal canals. The coelom has a fluid called the coelomic fluid which contains dissolved hemoglobin. So hemoglobin is the respiratory pigment. In Hirudinea, true blood vessels are absent and gaseous exchange takes place over the body surface. Leeches move around either by swimming or by crawling. Swimming is by dorsoventral undulations caused by waves of constriction along the longitudinal musculature. It is not the normal method of locomotion in leeches and it is used only if the leeches becomes detached from the substrate. Locomotion by crawling is more common, and leeches crawl on the substratum by looping. Hirudinea is a bloodsucker, and it feeds on a variety of vertebrate hosts. It is capable of ingesting blood equivalent to about 5 to 6 times of its body weight in a single meal. During feeding, it attaches to the host by the anterior sucker and cuts into the skin of the host using 3 saw-like chitinous jaws, 1 dorsal and 2 ventrolateral. A large number of unicellular salivary glands open between the jaws, and these secretes an anticoagulant called hirudin, which prevents the coagulation of the blood. Another unknown substance in the saliva has an anesthetic effect, which helps to keep the host unaware of the presence of the parasite during feeding. These secretions ensures a continuous flow of blood from the host to the parasite. So a leech can feed for many hours. The muscular pumping pharynx helps these leeches to suck the blood. The esophagus opens into a large thin-walled crop, which is greatly expanded by 11 pairs of ceca. Blood is pumped by the pharynx into the crop. When the crop is full, the greatly distended leech drops off from the host. The digestion of the blood is a bit unusual because it is greatly carried out by a symbiotic bacteria that is present in the gut of leeches called Pseudomonas hirudinea. The bacteria breaks down proteins, carbohydrates and fats that are present in the blood. Another role of this bacteria is the production of vitamins for the leech. Excretion occurs with the help of segmentally arranged nephridia. The principal waste in these leeches is ammonia, which is removed from the leech body by nephridial tubes. Hirudinea is hermaphroditic. Mating normally occurs on land during the summer season, and the fertilized eggs are usually laid about 3 weeks after the copulation. During this, the clitellum becomes conspicuous and secretes a cocoon in which albumin and the fertilized eggs are deposited. The cocoons are then left in moist soil, and young juvenile leeches emerge directly from them. So the development is direct development. Now we will move on to the parasitic adaptation of leeches. Leeches exhibit extraordinary adaptations for the parasitic mode of life and blood feeding. During feeding, it attaches to the host by 2 suckers, the anterior and the posterior sucker. The 3 chitinous jaws in the mouth are used to cut into the skin of the host and create an injury. The anticoagulant hirudin present in the saliva prevents the coagulation of blood. As we have said earlier, the anesthetic effect of the saliva is also a parasitic adaptation. The muscular pharynx of leeches helps in the sucking of blood. The leeches can store a large amount of blood in the lateral ceca of the crop. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and share. See you in yet another video.